Welcome back. You are watching Trading Hour here on CNBC-TV18. Pull up Railtel. First up, that stock is surging and surging. How? This morning, it's up almost 12.5%. It was up 13% at one point of time, 475 on Railtel. And it's been a while since we saw such kind of moves in a railway stock. But its peers are not showing such kind of moves as the way Railtel is. But the stock is trading 12% higher now, 475 there on Railtel. Last 2 weeks, the stock has surged 30%. And just 22% in the last 7 trading sessions itself. But the other stock in focus, though, is Whirlpool. And in a block deal last week, the promoter entity had sold 24% stake, bringing its stake subsequently down to 51% in the India unit. And Whirlpool CEO Mark Blitzer had a conversation with CNBC last night, and he said that the higher valuations were the main reason behind the stake sale. And he said that although that's the case, they are bullish on the business growth prospects in India. Listening to what he had to say.
We're not leaving India. So first of all, to put it in context, we kind of divested a big part of our China business. We sold Russia. We acquired the very attractive InSinkErator business in Wisconsin. And India, we basically took our share down to 51%. It was, frankly, I mean, we believe in India in the long term. But if you have a business which is trading at 50 times multiple and your own company trades a lot lower, it's basically an asset arbitrage. That's what it is. But we really believe in the long-term future growth of India.
Okay, so that was Whirlpool talking about their plans in India, the reason why they've sold off that big chunk of equity from the Indian listed entity that is Whirlpool. Rohan Mehta, CEO and Portfolio Manager at Turtle Wealth PMS, is with us now. We're going to talk about, of course, this particular sector, that's consumer durables, and a lot more. Great to have you with us on the show. So just, give us the market construct that you're going with, and whether, you have been taking some money off the table or whether you are still invested across your strategies.
Yeah, good morning. Thank you for having me. We at Turtle PMS, we are purely a quant portfolio. So we purely invest into structural calls where it is outperforming Nifty 500, our benchmark. And also it is purely onto the growth story. So believe me, we are still very, very extremely bullish on the opportunity, what market is. Also, if you see every time there is a good consolidation in market, this is the best time when there is a sector rotation. And that's where we are seeing, if we are seeing between 19,000 to 22,000, we saw nearly about 3-4 months market not doing anything. And then we see last 10 weeks, nothing is happening into the market. So we are putting more money on the table, taking out the things which are not outperforming, and putting the things which are outperforming. Surprisingly, this quarter result, ITs and certain stocks which are doing exceptionally well. So very positive on markets.
By the way, as we speak, the Nifty has surged to the highest point of the day in a very range-bound market now. The index is up 0.2% and it is recovering swiftly from the lowest points of the day as well. And there is a recovery in the Nifty Bank as well. There you can see now 22,165 on the Nifty, almost 50 points higher now. And the Nifty Bank is also off the lowest points of the day. And speaking of banking stocks, Rohan, your Wealth Mantra PMS fund has almost an 18% allocation to the BFSI space. Now, there is general consensus that banks have value, but they are not performing as of now. Do you see that tide turning anytime soon, that banks will eventually deliver the kind of value or the returns that is expected out of them going forward?
Yeah, see, I'll tell you that if we see as a bank on a private side, it is not outperforming. But if you see on the public side, PSU side, I think so. We are very heavyweight on one stock, which is SBI. We find there is an exceptional value. And if you see on the outperformance side also, it is outperforming Nifty 500, most of the private banks. And also in the other one, we have certain mid and small PSUs banks. So we are very bullish as structure on BFSI onto the PSU side rather than on the private side.
Okay. I just want to go into some of the portfolio details, Rohan, because if one looks at it, in your growth mantra PMS, a company known as Big Block Constructions, that has a huge weightage. I think it's probably one of your top holdings. You also have Voltamp. So let's just talk about the growth mantra fund first, and why a stock like Big Block. How are you looking at the rest of this construction space? Just give us some thought process over here.
Yeah, so see, this is a company, Growth Mantra, purely the theme is to buy turnaround businesses, right? So when we saw this company previously, 10 years back, things were not working very well, but then it was becoming the leader of AC blocks, right? And the red brick has been now demoralized by the government, and the AC block has its own bigger thing. And you see in India, the infrastructure is going by leap and bounds, and the credit, the carbon credit story and the green building story, it is going to be one of the leader. When we bought it, this company was at 5 crores of PAT to today, expecting next year to be a 40 crores of PAT. So the more of the business has been, the value creation, that is the reason the value, the proportional has been very high. And also, if you see the same into the Voltem, again, a very, very beautiful business onto the power transformers business, an extremely superior balance sheet. I think so. You will not get a power company with a zero debt company. And again, a long consolidation of 10, 15 years, nothing has happened. So superior both of the business, very different stories, but that's where most of the monies have been made.
Right, a very interesting name in your Wealth Mantra PMS is BLS International, and you're trying to play the travel theme through that. Do you not see the travel theme by playing it through stocks that are proper travel names like a Mahindra Holidays or an Ease My Trip? What is driving you towards BLS International? And also now that it has a demerged entity as well, do you see the scope of generating further value from that as well?
Yeah, see, I'll tell you a story. First of all, we buy moat business in Wealth Mantra, that is pure leader. Now, when you speak of Mahindra and when you speak of Ease My Trip, they are not particular leaders in their own territory. So we start to find leaders. We sort out this company at 3,500 crores of market cap, where the whole transition of, I was being heading to Europe and I saw, we are spending so much money into, the visa services, and that's pure monopoly. You can't have an option. You can have an option of which hotel you will go to, which, airlines you will go to, but visa is something which is purely a mandatory point. And that was, what we saw. And look at the business. When we invested, the profit was at 100 crore rupees, and we are expecting 400 crore profit in next couple of years. And yeah, but we still feel that there is a lot of value because there are only 7.5% people in India who has passport, and only lesser than 1% who fly international. Now, the way the income is growing, I would not be surprised we would be double out in a year or so.
Okay. So you're still doubling down on that BLS bet and you believe it'll work well for you. Good catching up, and we hope to sort of keep in touch more frequently and understand some of these mid-cap, small-cap ideas that you're working with and why, with, of course, the usual disclaimers that apply. Thank you very much for joining in. Good to have you on the show today. We do have to take a break. On that note, we'll come back on the other side.